them, and you will unmute it if you're submitting to the class, so as we don't have that kind of disruption from the background noise. You are all welcome. Previously, we looked at decimal numbers, and we had moved to an extent of even changing them to fraction and changing fractions to whole numbers. So today we are going to look at something. We are still going to continue with the same topic, and this time around, we are going to look at rounding off, not the roundabout of SST. We are looking at rounding off. So just feel free to ask any question in case you are left out. Feel free to ask any question. First, we are going to do some little revision with rounding of whole numbers. And we should understand the following when they talk about rounding off. When rounding off numbers, the first thing you should always know the place value of each digit in the number given to you. That is one of the fundamentals. You should understand it. Then secondly, we should also identify the required place value and the identified place value. We are all going to see those differences. And we have the following to note. We have the following to note. One thing, why do we round off? One, we round off to make these numbers easier for use, yes? Because you find that at times when you have a number 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2 like that, it becomes a little bit harder for you to use. But we round off so that we can make this number easy for us to use. Then we also, we've said one, before rounding off any number, you should know the place value of all the digits of the number given to you. And I'm sure that for our P5 class, we know how to give place values of both whole numbers and decimal numbers. Then another thing, we are going to keep on learning these numbers as well. Let's see this note here. When rounding off digits, digits from 0 to 4, in the nearest place value, we add 0 to the required place value. What do they mean in this case? Let us assume we have 1, 2, 3. Yes? And our place value, we have ones, tens, and hundreds. I want us to understand what they mean here. The note says digits from 0 to 4. That means if you have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you have such digits, 0 to 4, they are saying we add a 0 to the required place value. So in this case, what is the required place value and what is the nearest place value? When you come here, if we are rounding off to the, they say the nearest, they're telling us to round off to hundreds, yes? Nearest hundreds. So the required place value here, the place value they want in our question is hundreds, yes? And the nearest is tens, the tens place value here. So when you're rounding off and you realize that the digit in the nearest place value, that is the place value to which you are rounding to, yes, near the one you're rounding to, they say we add a 0 to the required place value. So if the digit to the right side, yes, because you find that the right side of hundreds is tens. The right side. So the digit to the right side of the rounding digit, yes? That is tens under this place value here. If you find that it is either a 0, or a 1, 2, 3, or 4, what we do, we change, sorry, we add 0. We add a 0 to the required place value. So from here, to round off here, we shall have plus a 0. That is the meaning of this note here. So we shall have 1, 2, 3. So when we are rounding off from here, we shall have a 0 added to the required place value. And what happens to the digits after? All these ones here become zeros. That is the first one. Then let us see the second note. Digits from 5 to 9 in the nearest place value. Note, we add 1, sorry, let me put it right here. We add.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Can I write?
I'll send the work and you will write afterwards.
Okay, teacher.
Yeah. So the second note says digits from 5 to 9 in the nearest place value. We add 1 to the required place value. Yes? If the nearest to the required, let's assume we have 1, 5, 6, and 2. And they're talking about digits from 5 to 9. That means digits from 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Someone may ask, teacher, why is it that we don't have 10? We don't have 12, we don't have 13. The reason is that these are the digits we use. These are the digits that that are used to form those 2-digit numbers. And when you find that, when you have a 2-digit number or a 3-digit number, that is 10. Let's learn from 10. If you have 10, you find that each of these digits belongs to a given place value. So 0 will have 1s and 1 will belong to the 10s place value. So the moment you hold a number that is of 2 digits, it means that you've held digits of 2 different place values. So that's why we don't have 10 in the list we are dealing with, because 10 is formed from these ones here. And when you're rounding off, we deal with independent digits. That means we deal with a digit and its place value, a digit and its place value. So they are saying, in this case, if you have any of these digits in the nearest place value, these ones here, we add 1 to the required. Stacy, you're doing something on my screen. Can you remove it, please? Thank you. So if you have any of these digits, the nearest place value, you will add a 1. Stacy, remove what you're doing on my screen. You will add 1 to the required place value. For example, if we have ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. And they are saying round off to the nearest hundreds. So you come here, which you get the place value near 100. Patricia, you're doing something on my screen. Can you remove it? So you move to the place value that is near hundreds from the right hand. That is the tens place value. So we'll say that digits from 5 to 9 will always give a 1. So we shall have plus 1 added to the required place value. And these ones will be zeros. We are going to learn these ones here. We are going to learn. I just wanted to emphasize something here. Odwin, remove what you've done on my screen. So that's all. That is all about that one there. Let us see something here again. Let us see some example here. Okay. We are having this example here that says round off 1,285 to the nearest tens. The first thing we do is to identify which digit. First of all, you identify the nearest place value to tens, yes? And from the right hand, not from the left hand. From the left, it is hundreds, but we are not considering the left, we are considering the right hand. So you find that from the right hand, the nearest place value is ones. Then you come and check which digit is under that nearest place value. You find that under those digits we have 5. Under the place value, we have 5. And remember, the rule says digits from 5 to 9, we add a 1. But where do we put the 1? We get the 1 and we add it to the required place value, that is the tens. Now what happens? What happens to this one here where we've picked a 1? We equate this 5 to a 1. So if you equate it to a 1, this one will become a 0. Yes? So all other digits before and after the required place value will become, the digits after the required place value will all become zeros. So this is what will be, we shall have as the answer, we shall have, and this is how it can be read. 1,285 is approximately, this symbol here, this one here stands for approximately. Approximately, I'll write it in our notes, you'll meet it there. It's not too clear. I'll write it in my notes, the notes I'll be sending. Yeah, I'll write that word there, approximately. This is the symbol we use. So whenever you round off, that means you are looking for the approximate number to equate to the original number there. Yes, please, someone is saying something. Yes, please.
When you're giving the answer, you have to put 120. You have to put the sign of an approximately sign, eh?
Yes, that is the final answer. This is the answer they are marking. We are going to learn why they mark this one here. You're going to check, we are going to see the importance of rewriting this again, okay? Let us see the other example here. Let's see some other example here.
Excuse me, whoever is doing that, stop.
So we are looking at example 2, and this is the example here. They're saying round off 1,285 to the nearest hundreds. So what do we need to do? The first thing, you write the number there. Secondly, identify the place values of each digit, yes? So after identifying their place values, now you start identifying. You identify the required place value, and that is, the required place value in this case is 100, so that's what they are asking for. Now we look for the digit. They are saying round off to the nearest hundreds. And now we are looking for the place value that is near hundreds. Who can identify that place value? Hands up. I want to see the hands up. Yes. Yes, Tessie?
Tens.
Good. So the nearest place value in this case is tens. And we say that digits and digits from 5 to 9 will always give us a 1. So in this case, we shall have plus 1 here. So 8 will give us a 1 added to the required place value, and the answer will be, this will be the answer. Now, when you're writing here 8 and 5, we've said that the moment you identify the required place value, they become 0. So the place values before the nearest place value they want, or the required place value there, the one we want, will give us 0. So we shall have a 0 here, a 0 here. Then 2 plus 1, we shall have a 3, and 1 plus nothing, we shall have a 1. So when you're writing the final answer, you'll say 1,285 is approximately equal to 1,300. Then let us see another example also here. Let us see another example here. That is how we shall write it using that symbol. Don't strain with that big word, approximately equal to. You can summarize it with just that symbol there. Let us see another example here. That is our example 3. Round off 1,285 to the nearest thousands. We've said the first thing, you write the number, give them place values. Now you identify which digit do we have. What is the nearest place value there? Because they've told us to deal with Lucky say, okay, Lucky, I've seen your question. Let me hope you can now hear. So what we do, Lucky? Lucky, yes. I hope you can hear me right now.
Yes.
Okay. So from the right, after the required place values, the reason as to why we equate them to zeros is simply because we first move back to the first rule, yes, that says digits from from 5 to 9 give us a 1, then from 0 to 4 give us a 0. Then after understanding that, you come here, when they required a place value, that means they are not concerned with what happens in the other place value before that required place value, yes? For example here, they want us to round off to the thousands. So this person wants you to simply equate the 1 under the hundreds. You equate it to what it produces. Like we've said that 2 will produce a 0 here. So now the ones after the required, yes? All the digits after the required, because 2 has been equated to a 0. Then the rest, we don't need them, because the person who has set this does not mind about the rest of the digits. So they will give us
Teacher, are you on?
Teacher. Teacher.
Teacher Lynndah, are you there?
Are you there, teacher?
On. Teacher Lynndah, are you there?
Excuse me, Teacher Lynndah, are you still on?
Please wait for her. Teacher
Maybe
Lynndah,
she's
where?
finishing.
Teacher Lynndah, are you there?
Hello?
Guys.
Guys, stop it.
Guys. Teacher is coming. First wait for her. Maybe she up something. Don't rush her.
Tell me when the teacher comes, okay?
Stop sharing your screen, Elion.
Nice one. Bless you. Yeah. Guys, has the teacher come? Eh?
Wait for the teacher patient.
The teacher. How do you want to learn?
Stop
What?
sharing screens.
Stop.
Teacher, are you there?
Teacher.
Hello, the teacher has gotten some network issue. She's going to connect back. Be patient.
Okay.
Have you heard?
What should we do?
Kidding me.
You stay on the floor.
How long?
In
Like
the
for how
class,
long?
the teacher.
What should we do?
Let's give her some few minutes as she's connecting back. Okay?
Okay.
You have heard. Stop sending messages.
Meanwhile, those people who haven't shared their contacts, use this time to share them in the chat. Is it okay? Contacts of your parents. Could you be sharing them in the chat as the teacher is coming back?
Sorry, I went off shortly just because of my network. Let me share my screen so that we can continue. So I've shared my screen and we are going to start from where we had ended. I hope
Okay.
we are learning something. Okay. I hope we are learning something. We've noted down all this. We're looking at our third example. We're looking at our third example here.
It's not our third exam.
The third one is here. This is what we're looking at. And we've identified that 2 is under the list that adds a 0 to the required place value. So this is how it will come, and the rest of the digits before the required place values are evaluated to zeros. They're evaluated to zeros. Then we can, and this is how it can be written as the answer. We had seen this number here. Unless someone has a question here.
Where am I?
If you have a question, I give you time to ask something. Yes, Daniel? Daniel, your hand is up. Daniel?
This was a perfect one.
What's that?
But it's going to be afraid.
Daniel and Lucky. Lucky, your hand is up.
We don't have.
You don't have a question.
Teacher. Why?
Yes,
Teacher.
yes,
Why
please.
do we put zeros on the right?
On the right,
Why
because
do we put zeros on the right?
okay, we don't just put them there. We evaluate all the digits, or we equate all the digits after the required place value to zeros. We don't just put them there. But we equate all the digits after the required place value to zeros. Any other? Sarah, your hand is up and you're not putting it down. I don't know, maybe you're saying something. Yes, Sarah?
My hand up. I don't have anything.
You don't have anything? Okay, Miss. There is some friend of mine using Miss, TB Miss. Yes, please. She's not saying anything. Okay, then we also have, let us also see something here. We are going to try out these numbers here. Now we go to rounding off the small numbers. Devon will revise them. Yes, please. Yes, please.
I'm not seeing your screen.
Are you sure?
I'm not seeing your screen.
Are you sure
Yes.
I don't see it? What about now?
Yes.
You're seeing it now?
No. No.
Okay, just wait a little bit. I think you will have it because let me hope others are seeing it. You will have it, wait just for your network, I think, to stabilize a little bit. Then you will see my screen. We are looking at rounding off decimals, and here there are two things we need to note. This is the same where the digits from 0 to 4. We add a 0 to the required place value. This is okay. But there is this main one. Yes? Remember, when you're dealing with whole numbers, all the zeros after the required place values, yes, are written. But here in decimal numbers, we don't write them. Why don't we write them? Because they simply change. One, they change the number. Second, they don't represent anything. But in the whole numbers, we write them because they are place value holders. They represent the missing digits, yes? So they give you a complete value of the number after rounding off. But for decimal numbers, the zeros after the required place values are not written. Then the question comes, what if that 0 is under the required place value? We are going to see that. We are going to see that. Let us see an example here. First example, they are saying round off 12.85 to the nearest tenths. Still, the same rule will come. Write the number, give them place values. Now, who can tell which place value is near tenths? Which place value is near tenths? Yes, Nicole? Nicole is not responding. Yes, my friend using Yaaka 2020. Yes, please, your hand is up. 2021, your hand is up. You unmute and speak. Louder.
100.
100. Thank you so much. Which name should I call you? Can I call you 2020? Okay, thank you so much. So here, the nearest place value, remember this is a decimal number. Don't be tempted to run to the left of the number. We round off from the right hand of the given number. So on the right hand, yes, of the tenths place value.
I'm not seeing your screen.
Just wait shortly. I think you'll see it. It's because of the network. You'll be seeing it. So from the tenths place value to the right hand, you find that the nearest place value there is hundreds. Why do we consider hundreds? Because it is near and it is the immediate place value on the right hand. On the right, is the nearest place value on the right of the required place value. So we shall consider hundreds. So if we have hundreds and it has digit 5, what do we expect to be added on to the required place value? Yes, Sarah? Yes, Sarah? Your hand is up and you're not speaking. Blessing? I've not heard you well. Joel, okay, say it louder.
Ones.
Ones, thank you. So we shall add a 1 to the required place value. And this is what we learned first. We said that whenever a digit, whenever the nearest place value has digits from 5 to 9, we add 1 to the required place value. So after getting here, you find that you will have, we've said digits, the moment you round off that digit where you've picked, and the rest that will be there become 0. So we shall have 0. 8 plus 1, we shall have 9. Point. 2 plus nothing, we shall have 2. Then we shall have 1. Now, in this case, when you are writing the final answer, we don't have to put these zeros there because these are decimal numbers. In decimal numbers, we've said zeros after, these ones are too strict, zeros after the required place value are not written on the final answer. So our final answer will be 12.85 is approximately equal to 12.9. The first thing, when you're given the decimal number, zeros after that decimal number are not necessary. Then the other thing, when you put this 0 here, it means that you rounded off to the nearest hundredths. So for you to keep the place value they've given you, because they've told you 10th place value, that means they only need 1 digit after the decimal point. So the moment you put that 0 there, it means that you've put 2 digits after the decimal point, which is the hundredths. So for us to answer this question well, because they've said 10ths, that is 1 place value, we shall have only a 9 without the other zeros after the decimal point. So this is what, so it will come out like this. We shall add a 1. We have it in our answer before, then the final answer will not have the 0 because the 0 will be representing another place value. So we don't need to write it there. Then let us see also another example here. Round off 1.295 to the nearest hundreds. You write the number, give them place values, identify the digit after the required, at the right of the required place value. Let me see whether there's, blessing, the hand is up, but she will not say anything. Nasham. Nasham.
Yes.
Which digit, okay, which place value is near oh, sorry, this had to be hundredths. Let me first put it right here. This is hundredths, not hundreds. Which place value is near hundredths from the right hand? Yes, Nasha?
10.
So when you look at hundredths, which digit is on the right of hundredths?
10.
Yes?
1,000.
The place value is thousands and the digit is 5. Thank you so much. And remember, we said if you have digits from 5 to 9, we add a 1 to the required place value. So we shall have it as plus 1. So this 5 will become a 0. Then hundredths, we have 9 plus 1, we have 10. So we write 0, you regroup 1. Then we have under tenths, we have 2 plus 1, we have 3.1. Now the question is, how can we write our final answer? Let me see someone's hand up.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
I've not yet gotten how to do that.
You have not gotten what?
I've not gotten this number very well.
This one we are handling?
Yes, teacher, I've not yet gotten it.
Yeah, I know why. Because we have a 0 under the required place value.
Yes.
That's the reason, eh? Okay.
Yes.
So we have, remember the rule says, excuse me, the rule says zeros after, let me put this word here so that we can understand very well. We have after, yes? So we assume this is the required R, yes. Then here we have after, AF. Then here we have before, that is B, E. Let us use those letters for this, yes? And the rule says zeros after, yes? Let me first cross out this so that we are not confused, yes? We've said R, E is for required. Let me put even a Q there. This is required. This one is after. And this one is before, yes? And the rule says after the required place value, yes? Zeros after the required place values. That means if you find a 0 here, we don't write it in decimal numbers, yes? Then the thing is, we also have a 0 under the required place value, yes? And
Yes.
In other times, you can also find another 0 before the required place value, and it is okay. Now, which zeros are we writing and which zeros are we not writing? Go back to the rule. The rule says after the required place values, those zeros are not written. So when you're writing this final answer here, it will be 1.95 is approximately equal to 1 point. Do we need to put that 0 because it's under the required place value? Do we write it? Someone to respond very fast. They are saying do not write. Do not write. Do not write zeros after the required place value. So this person doesn't care whether you have a 0 under the required place value. That one is under the required place value. So you will come and write it here because it is under the required place value. You need it because it represents the hundreds as it was required by the examiner. Yes? If you had a 0 before, still come and put it there. If the 0 was there, it is okay. Yes? But the moment you complete the required place values, these other ones after the required place values, you don't need them. Just cancel them out. You don't need them. So in other words, this one is not written. We only write the one under the required place value like we've explained here. I hope now you've been answered and you've understood it now.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So this is
Yes.
how, all right. I'm glad if you've understood it. So we shall have it there. There it is okay. But
Excuse me.
And answer will be that. Yes, please.
I cannot see your screen.
Really? Someone else who can't see my screen? I think it's because of the.
I can see the screen.
Okay, just wait patiently. Wait patiently, it will come back. I think it's your network disturbing. So that's how it will be. I'm going to give you more numbers. I want you're going to interact with them. I'll not explain them all. You'll interact with them and you will find out the differences in all. You're going to try out search all these numbers and you will put feedback in the group or on my email. I shared it with you some time back. Then when you find any challenge, don't hesitate contacting me, okay? If you find any challenge, don't hesitate contacting me. Otherwise, I wish you a nice day. Thank you for attending.
Have a nice day too.
Welcome.
Thank you for the
Bye-bye.
lesson, teacher.
You are welcome.
Teacher.
Thank you for teaching, teacher.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Thank you.
Teacher teaching, teacher. Bye, teacher.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Bye,
wait
teacher.
a minute.
Please remember to put your contacts in the chat. Put your name and contacts in the chat section before you leave. Put your name and the parents' contacts in the chat. Thank you. For those who have put in the contacts, bye-bye. Those who haven't, you can put there. Write your name, the parents' contact, and leave.